Hello and welcome to the next edition of the Schools and Agents Bulletin. Today is a special edition because after many weeks of not having the time to go live, today I actually managed to be sitting down in my office almost at noon and going live at this moment. And today I decided to go live. Well, no, I have to be honest. I didn't decide to go live. I practically had no time to record the video like I normally do during the week. So I had no choice but to go live. But then I always believe that things happen for a reason. And today was a case in point. So first in the morning, I was a little bit flustered because like I said, I didn't have the time to record the video. Then later on in the morning, I was invited to attend the Feltham AGM and give a short talk over there. And while I was talking at the Feltham AGM, sitting across me at the table, I saw my very first international education industry boss. Obviously, I knew that he was going to be there, but that set me off on a trip down memory lane when I finished my talk and as I was driving back home. And it suddenly dawned on me that on this very day, many years ago, I'm trying to calculate how many years ago it is exactly, I actually joined the ELT industry. Because on this day, it was the day when I finished my TEFL course as a young 18-year-old, and that kind of gave me the pass to enter the industry and to start teaching in my very first school. And as I was driving and obviously reminiscing and remembering and also feeling a little bit bad at how old I'm getting, I decided that during today's bulletin, I'll share this little story with you about, how I ended up in this beautiful industry of ours. So it was exactly on this day, again, I'm trying to remember the year, but it must have been around 2001. Or even the year 2000, actually. I think it must have been the year 2000 when I finished my 4-week TEFL course and I was given my very first class to teach. My boss at the time obviously had, and he still has, one of the most established English language schools here in Malta. And they needed somebody to take over a class for literally 1 week. And since I had just finished my TEFL course, I had asked kind of whether it was possible for me, to take this opportunity and teach my first class. And my boss, who was very, very nice, had said, yes, Bernice, there's no need to take time off work because at the end of the day, you're still going to be working for the same company. So please take this as experience and hopefully it will be the next step in your career. And my goodness, were those words prophetic. Obviously, I entered my first class the Monday after as a very scared new ELT teacher, very young 18-year-old ELT teacher. I had my first class of students. I remember I had 15 students, 14 boys and 1 girl. As if it wasn't intimidating enough, but it was a blast. And I remember calling a friend of mine at the time and telling her, I think I have fallen in love. I have fallen in love with this industry, and this is the industry where I want to spend the rest of my life. And once again, they were prophetic words because here I am, I was 18, just turned 18. I think I hadn't even turned 18 because I was going to turn 18 in October. And here I am today on the doorstep of 41 and still in this industry. Obviously, since then, a lot of things can happen, as is the case with everybody. And right this morning, to kind of continue putting the pieces of the puzzle together, I was preparing the text for the new website that at Schools and Agents we're going to launch in the next few weeks. And I was working on the About Us section. And I was writing this story early this morning. I didn't realize that today is the anniversary of it all. But this morning I was writing the story of how kind of I joined the industry as an ELT teacher, and then eventually I did my CELTA, so I continued kind of advancing in this industry as a teacher. Then I joined a different school, and I held various academic roles in that other school. Back then, that used to be a small family-run school, and at one point they needed some help with marketing, and I said, yes, I'll do it, always super enthusiastic, and that is where the marketing doors got opened for me within this industry. That is when I started dealing with agents, and as I was writing this morning, and as you will see, once the new Schools and Agents website is launched, some of the agents I worked with many years ago as the person in charge of marketing, or one of the members of the marketing team back in the other school, are still agents on the Schools and Agents platform nowadays. And it gives me great pride and honor that, after so many years, I am still working with these people even today. You know who you are. I'm sure that at some point you will watch this video and you will realize that I am talking about you. But it's still nice that we are still friends after so many years. And I think this is the beauty of our industry, and this is what makes our industry special. The connections that we form, the way in which these connections develop over the years, the way in which we kind of continue growing together. So again, I didn't want to come here and say anything in particular or sell anything or promote anything like I generally do on the Schools and Agents Bulletin here today, but I think it was a very reasonable, an apt moment to share this little story of mine, of when I joined the ELT industry for the very first time. I think this year I'm celebrating 23 years in this industry. At this point, I can say that it's more than half of my life. It's the longest relationship I've ever had. Sorry, husband, if you're hearing this, but it is true. And it is an industry that I still love with my whole heart. And I can't wait, for what the future holds for me, for us as Schools and Agents, for where we are going, the things that we are launching this year. And like I said last week, I'll say it again, these are going to be some very exciting weeks for Schools and Agents. And I can't wait to share the rest of my journey and the rest of our journey with you. So thank you very much for bearing with me. And I think you could see all of this excitement from my side. I was even going to get a little bit emotional at one point. So thank you for bearing with me, for listening to this little story of mine. And, thank you for being part of my journey.